Hello, my name is Dr. Reed Tuckson, and I'm with the Black Coalition Against COVID. By now, you have heard that the J&J vaccine has been put on temporary hold, and I'm sure that you have questions about what this means for those who either have had or were planning to be vaccinated with the J&J product. This development may also have the effect of causing some people to become less willing to be vaccinated with any of the other two currently available vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. Here is what we at the Black Coalition Against COVID think that you need to know. The facts are that out of more than 6.8 million doses of the J&J vaccine that have been administered to date, the CDC and the FDA have reports that 6 women between the ages of 18 and 48 were diagnosed with something called cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, which is a potentially severe condition that involves blood clots in the brain. Their symptoms occurred between 6 and 13 days after they received the vaccine. These events are extremely rare. In fact, 1 in a million. Also, to provide you with some context, based on the reports available today, this incidence of these blood clots is less than the number of cases of blood clots reported in women who take birth control pills, and is definitely much, much less than the incidence of blood clots that are occurring from the COVID virus itself. And let's not also forget that as of today, more than 560,000 people have died from the COVID virus. So you can do the math yourself. That being said, do I think that the CDC and the FDA made the right decision? Yes, I do. And let me tell you why. The reason that people can have confidence in our vaccine recommendations is because they are grounded in our best understanding of the science of the vaccine and its effects on the human body, and in our ability to monitor the effects of these vaccines after they are introduced into the population. That's what happened here. We have detected a potential problem, and acting out of an abundance of caution, scientists are studying these cases to determine if these incidents are related to the vaccine, the mechanism of how the effects were produced, and the ability to provide guidance regarding what modifications we should make to those who should be eligible or not to receive the J&J vaccine. Secondly, I think it was the right decision because physicians and other health professionals need to have the best possible information in case they have a patient who reports to them symptoms that could be associated with these clots, and then how they can appropriately evaluate and, when necessary, treat these people. For your information, these are the specific symptoms that we are concerned about for someone who receives a J&J vaccine. People who are within 3 weeks of having received the vaccine should call their doctor if they have an unusually severe headache, shortness of breath that is unusual for them, abdominal pain, or whether one side of their body's leg or arm begins to swell. Finally, let me remind you that tens of millions of people in the United States have been vaccinated safely with the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines over the past several months. To date, more than 45% of the eligible US population has received at least one vaccine dose. We are in a desperate race to the finish line. As you have been hearing, the variants for the virus are spreading throughout our country. In fact, we now know that the variant that is associated from the United Kingdom is now the dominant strain of the coronavirus in the United States. And that strain is much more easy to transmit from person to person, and its effects are much more serious. And so we simply have to get as many people vaccinated as possible, as quickly as possible, if we're going to be able to end this terrible pandemic and get our lives back. Fortunately, the government has secured enough Pfizer and Moderna doses for 300 million Americans, more than enough to supply the current pace of vaccinations of 3 million shots administered every day. I urge you with all of my fiber of my being, please, this is not the time to relax our vigil in terms of wearing our masks This is critical that we are also not relaxing our vigil about staying away from being congregated indoors with people that we do not know or do not live with us. This is not the time to also make a decision to postpone being vaccinated with one of the two products that is currently available. This is a flat out race to the finish. I know that all of us want to get our lives back. We want to have that family reunion. We want to go to the graduation ceremonies for our children. We want to have the backyard barbecues and events, and we want to do all of these things safely. This is the moment to not relax our vigil, wear our masks, do all the right things, and as soon as you can get access to the vaccine, please take it. Let's not lose all the progress we have made. I can see the finish line, but unfortunately, the variants also are seeing the finish line, and we're out with a flat out race to see who's going to win, vaccinations or the variants. Do your part. Let's get this over with. Let's get our lives back. Thank you.